The first deck profile was Rapidmon X. The second was Imperialdramon. And while players may argue that yellow Rapidmon X is the way to go, what about Rapidmon X? Rapidmon X is another obnoxious deck that makes its appearance in BT16. And again, while players may repeat the argument that it's better in yellow, I can't deny that there are elements of green base that make it extremely potent. Per the usual, this provides a basic foundation of the deck and what else you can run to complement it. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy the breakdown. For level 2s, Starter Deck 17 Gargomon is the supreme egg of choice. This is one of the most generic green eggs to date for draw power, and has the only requirement of having a green tamer in play. Like most green decks, because you have card effects that play Digimon like Double Typhoon, that's an inherent -1, because when you play a card, nothing replaces a resource in your hand. Because of this, I strongly recommend card draw, as you could run out of cards in hand to utilize your effects. EX2 Gargomon is another option, but this is dependent on your opponent having a Digimon in play that is not suspended or immune to card effects. But should you go the DP route, Minomon and Torikarabalmon are viable options with caveats as well. Level 3 wise, the entire lineup is either Terriermon, Lopmon, or the newest variation of bunnies and puppies, Terriermon X-antibody. This adorable Digimon has a special Digivolution cost of 0 from Gargomon, or Terriermon for a cost of 0. This provides a your turn effect that when your Digimon would Digi-Evolve into a card with Gargomon, or Rapidmon in its name, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. With Willis in play, this instantly converts your Digivolution cost into a Rapidmon from 3 to just 1 memory. The best part, inheritable piercing. Due to space constraints, I'd love to bump this to 4, but because not everything is Terriermon, this can also work against you. EX4 Terriermon is a search off the top 4 cards for a 2-color green card, which is pretty much everything past the level 3 line. But of course the MVP rookies of this deck go to Starter Deck 17 Terriermon and Lopmon. Terriermon can play a Tamer or a level 3 Digimon with Lopmon in its name from your hand, on your turn for its play cost reduced by 2. Considering this could also be utilized with the new Lopmon for the Alliance factor, very worth it. Both of these Digimon also give a plus 1000 DP buff on all turns while this Digimon is suspended, meaning your opponent will have to be just a little bigger if they want to break through your Digimon. For this lineup, you could potentially omit all the Lopmons and go for Floodgate Terriermons and then maximize your Terriermon X-antibody, since everything will have Terriermon in name. But with what I've been playtesting, this has been extremely fun. I suggest keeping the lineup predominantly in the Terriermon line because of the special Digivolution costs of Rapidmon. Rapidmon wise, you're obligatory going to run the 4 copies of BT8, which can Armor Purge, and when Digi-Evolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each Tamer you have in play. Then up to 3 of your opponent's suspended Digimon get minus 5000 DP for the turn. The other Rapidmon has Blocker, Armor Purge, and an all turns effect once per turn, where when this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon and all of their security Digimon get minus 4000 DP until the end of their turn. Considering this Digimon has 7000 DP, this can fight on equal footing with most level 6s in the security. The last 2 level 4s go to Starter Deck 17 Gargomon, who on your turn, once per turn when this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your Digimon gains jamming for the turn. Considering you can gift the jamming makes it all the more powerful, especially if you suspend it with an effect like Hidden Potential Discovered. Both this card and the Rapidmon from the same starter deck provide another plus 1000 DP buff while this Digimon is suspended. Again, I wouldn't deviate too far from Rapidmon in this build, considering you can cheat into Rapidmon X without the need of an option card or a level 5 in between. For level 5s, while some players may argue that it's optional, I highly recommend it. On play and when Digi-Evolving, Digi-Evolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if you have a green Tamer in play, this Digimon can be deleted or bounced to the hand or deck by your opponent's effects until the end of their turn. With a special Digivolution cost of 3 from Gargomon or Rapidmon, very worthwhile. Its Inheritable provides that Metal Tyrannomon effect of all turns. Once per turn when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash the top card of their security. I don't recommend any other level 5s, because as I mentioned before, you can cheat into all of your level 6s from level 4. Megagargomon Ace is the first card to go over in the level 6s. An Ace Digimon that can blast Digivolve off of a green or black Digimon on your opponent's turn when they attack, or you could just hard Digivolve into it off of a Digimon with Rapidmon in its name. While it could be your level 4 gold Rapidmons or level 5 Rapidmon, you can even blast Digivolve off of your Rapidmon X. This Digimon when Digivolving suspends 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then 2 of their Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend or Digivolve until the end of their turn. Again, wider building boards like Fenrir-Lugomon or even Numamon, major bummer. The best part when Digivolving and end of attack, you may unsuspend this Digimon. Meaning if your opponent attacks, you could blast Digivolve and block. If you have the level 5 Rapidmon, that's an instant trash 1. The pride and joy of the deck though, falls on Rapidmon X, a Digimon that is capable of Digivolving from Rapidmon for a cost of 4. This Digimon has Armor Purge, and a when Digivolving effect that suspends all of your opponent's Digimon. Then, this Digimon may attack. All turns, while Rapidmon or x-antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution sources, all of your opponent's suspended Digimon get minus 4000 DP. In the Numamon matchup, this is particularly rough as the moment their smaller Digimon go check into security, Rapidmon immediately DP reduces them out of existence. Its last effect gains you 2 memory when an opponent's Digimon is deleted in battle, or by having 0 DP. As for substitutes, I don't have any recommendations. Like my Magnamon X build, I don't run any level 7s. But you could, whether you want to use cards like Merciful Mode for trash heavy decks like Leviamon X, Death Xmon for wider building boards, or even Quartzmon to lock the board. Overall, I don't really care to run a level 7 in this build, but you could. For option cards, Hidden Potential Discovered is going to be mandatory for the build. Why? Considering you can Digivolve into Rapidmon first, you could Hidden Potential Discovered immediately and suspend your Rapidmon to go into Megagargomon Ace for free. Because Megagargomon Ace is when Digivolve effect unsuspends it, you'll be able to stun and go on the offense. Agility training is of course for the searching of green cards. Keep in mind, you only bottom deck 4 cards total. Double Typhoon's another mandatory of 4 of because you can play your Lotmons for extra aggression, or even terriermons to set up the Tamers and more. Sparkle of Destiny is one of the funniest cards in this deck. If you have a green Digimon in play, you may use this card ignoring its color requirements. Main, one of your Digimon with Gargomon or Rapidmon in its name may Digivolve into a card with Rapidmon in its name, ignoring its Digivolution requirements and without paying the cost. The Digimon that Digivolved with this effect can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's card effects until the end of your opponent's turn. In security, you may play one level 3 Digimon card with terriermon in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then add this card to your hand. This includes terriermon x-antibody. But the big thing, the huge thing about this card, once you hit level 5 or 6, you can cross back into any of your other forms. Rapidmon to Rapidmon X is already a thing, but you can now go from level 4 Gargomon or Megagargomon Ace to Rapidmon X, or even your level 5 Rapidmons, which in turn sets back up another Megagargomon Ace play, if you needed to really do this. And lastly, 2 security bombs in the form of Heaven's Judgment. DP reduction, insta wipeout on Magnamon X if it doesn't have enough DP or immunity. Finally, Tamers with Willis at 3 copies, and Henry Wong at 2. For Willis, on play you may hatch 1 Digi-Egg to an empty space in your breeding area. But on your turn, when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Gargomon or Rapidmon in its name, you may suspend this Tamer to reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. AKA, at 2 memory, you double Typhoon, play Terriermon, use Terriermon to play Willis for 1. Evo into Terriermon X for 0, and then Evo into your Rapidmon for a cost of 1. From there, it's up to you on what you want to do. Rapidmon for protection, or Rapidmon X for the DP reductions. Either way, worth it. And of course, Henry is your searchable Tamer with Terriermon, and also allows you to suspend your opponent's Digimon when your Digimon with Gargomon or Rapidmon in its name attacks. Blockers mean nothing. They'll need redirects here. Rapidmon X has a lot of flexible Digivolution lines. You could go more terriermon based to make your Rapidmon's Digivolutions more clean for the reduced cost, or even bring up your Sparkle of Fates. Keep in mind, like Magnamon X, you can use the yellow vaccine variant of the deck. But remember, you will lose those reduced costs. Personally, I think green is the way to go. While yes, you can cheat into your Rapidmons from security, you now have to navigate the delicate balance of options and having vaccine Digimon in security. In some tests I played with this variant, I sometimes had no vaccine Digimon and just all Tamers. Matchup wise, if you set up Rapidmon X early, you can make it so that your opponent can't really attack then DNA. Memory choking is your best bet, and because you're in green, you have a great opportunity to do that. Overall, I had a lot of fun playtesting this deck, and the matchups were your basic Magnamon X, Imperial Dramon, and more. What were your thoughts on this deck profile, and what are changes you'll be making? And finally, is green or yellow the route you're going, or are you going to go into a completely different route instead? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you next week on more deck profiles. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.